Hi there, my name is Felicitas Koshlango and I will be presenting a class on mindfulness meditation today. But before we start, I would like to ask you to make sure that if you are an LMHF member, to watch the video in its entirety and then put your name in the comment section so that you can get your credits. If you put any comments or your name on in the section below, LMHF will remove that at the end. So that would be great. Thank you for doing that. So mindfulness meditation. So this class is for giving you a step-by-step approach to do this practice. My intention is to give you the tools to do this practice at home and to have a daily practice ideally. So we're just going to start with the basics, and I will also record a video where you just have to practice, so you don't have to go through all the instructions beforehand, but you can then just do this on a regular basis. So mindfulness meditation is a very powerful technique, and it is a really nice way to still our mind, to become centered, to bring more relaxation and concentration in our lives. I've done mindfulness meditation now for many years, and I think of all the things that I've done, this has definitely been one of the most powerful modalities, and I do practice it every day. So the best way to start it is to know why you want to do that. So if you have an intention of bringing some more focus and some more relaxation and spaciousness in your life, then this is a good intention. You will get some fruition from doing the practice. All you need in order to start a mindfulness meditation practice is to have the intention of doing this for 5 minutes to start with. So when you do your practice, you can do the practice sitting on a chair. So there's absolutely no reason why you have to sit on the ground. But if you sit on the chair, the best way to sit on the chair is, and I'm just going to turn around here, is to sit on the chair so that your spine stays straight. So you don't want to kind of lean back. You want to keep a very kind of focused and strong position with your spine. And same thing with your feet. You want to have your feet on the ground. So you don't want to sort of like straighten your legs out or anything like that. You want to sit comfortably, and at the same time you want to have that sense that your spine is strong and straight and that you're fully present, awake. And because when our body is relaxed, we will have a better chance of relaxing our mind. So let's just take a couple of breaths together and consciously release any tension that is in our body. So I invite you to take a deep breath and then exhale. And then again, inhale, and this time on the inhalation, feel your belly expanding. And on the exhalation, very gently pull the navel towards the spine and exhale. So inhale, exhale. Very nice. So you may have found that you have some tension in your shoulders or in your neck. Release that tension. And also you want to make sure that your jaw is relaxed. So just for a moment, notice if you can separate the lower teeth from the upper teeth and relax your jaw. So the first round of mindfulness meditation is actually more appropriately called concentration. And the technique that I would like you to use is to simply, for the next few minutes, very short practice, is to focus your awareness, your attention, squarely on the sensations of the breath as the breath moves into your nose and as the breath flows out through your nose. So you want to breathe in and out through the nose. You don't have to breathe any more expansively or deeper, just let the breath be completely normal. But you want to bring your attention breathing in through the nose and feeling the sensations and breathing out through the nose. So let's just do this for a few moments, and I will ring the gong to start this few moments of practice. So these are very subtle sensations that we probably never notice throughout our day. But now that you have this moments of quiet, just notice very subtle sensations. The breath flows in, the breath flows out. Beautiful. So now take a moment to simply sit in silence, and I invite you to notice the temperature in the room of where you're sitting at. Just feel the temperature. There is no need to judge it, to assess it. Simply notice the temperature in the room where you're at. And then I invite you to notice the sounds that are present in your room. Maybe you're at home, maybe you're in an office. Just notice what sounds are present in the space where you are at and in the space beyond, so outside of the building where you're in. Let's take a moment to focus on that. Beautiful. So for the next few minutes, we want to go into the heart of mindfulness practice. And the way that we want to stabilize our mind is by counting the breath. So we all have a busy mind, whether you do meditation or not. You have a little bit less of a busy mind if you do have a meditation practice, but our mind is very strong. So what we want to do is we want to give the mind something to do so that we stabilize it. So this is actually called shamatha meditation. So it is a way to focus, to stabilize our thinking. So there are a couple of elements that are really important to know about mindfulness meditation. Sometimes we think that with mindfulness meditation what we want to achieve is a completely empty mind. So that may be very challenging. And what we actually want to do is we want to allow our thoughts, our thinking, just to flow by. So in other words, you may be sitting there and you may feel, oh, I'm a little bit hungry. And then the next thought may be, oh, let me go to the fridge and get some yogurt. And then suddenly the next thing is, oh, I gotta go to Wegmans tomorrow, and so forth and so forth. So what we want to do is when we see that our thinking just starts to float, going off in a tangent, we want to kindly, and kindly is important, we don't want to kind of like whip ourselves back into focus, but we want to kindly invite us back to our focus, which is going to be counting the breath. So we are not pushing anything away. We are noticing when our mind gets really trapped in thinking, and then we redirect our mind into counting. The other element that is really important is, what do we do with our emotions? So you may sit here in your chair and you may have had a really difficult day, and some emotions come up because you're not really doing anything. So you may feel frustrated or irritated or angry even. And this is also really important. In mindfulness meditation, there are no good or bad emotions. So we're treating every emotion simply as an emotion without judging it. So if you are, we are doing this exercise, getting an emotion that you don't like, don't think, oh no, I'm not supposed to feel frustrated, but simply notice I'm frustrated, and then go back to counting the breath. So we want to achieve a sense of spaciousness and kindness towards ourselves. And that's why it's such a beautiful practice, because it is not a punishing practice. It is a practice that gives us a little bit more space, and also allows us to be, first of all, kinder to ourselves. So let's do a few minutes, and I want to explain to you how we're going to do this. So when you count your breath, what you want to do is you want to count every cycle of the breath. So you inhale, and internally, quietly by yourself, you count 1, and when you exhale, again, you count 1. So every cycle of the breath, so every inhalation and exhalation count as one number, as one count. So then we want to count 10 breaths. And when you count these breaths, don't worry about doing the breaths deeper or wider. Just allow your breaths to be totally normal and count the breath. And then once you get to 10, you start again from 1. So if at one point you feel that you have completely lost count and suddenly your mind went to something, excuse me, I think I have to sneeze. No, I'm fine. So sometimes you think your mind just goes into a completely different direction, and you think, oh my God, where was I in my counting? And at that point you come back and you start from 1 again, no big deal. So I will ring the gong, and I'm going to do this keep this quiet for a few minutes. I will remind you every so often what we're doing, and what I invite you to do, if you can, to leave your eyes slightly open. So this may be a very new experience for you, because a lot of times we think of meditation to be done with the eyes closed. But mindfulness meditation actually is done most of the times with the eyes slightly open. And I know that whenever I teach mindfulness meditation, inevitably comes the question, but why do we want to have our eyes open? I feel so much better with the eyes closed. So the reason for that is that mindfulness meditation is really about bringing this practice into our lives. Because when we close our eyes, we kind of close in, we shut down the world. When we open the eyes, we want to be 50%, and this is obviously not an exact number, but we want to be partly connected to ourselves, but also partly be present to whatever is present in our environment without pushing it away or pulling it towards us. So we want to learn how to achieve that kind of equanimity towards what's happening. So at the moment here, a train is passing by. So there is a sound. So what happens is we want to just notice there's a train going by, no big deal. We can go off and go with the train all the way to Toronto if we get so upset that we have this train going by. So you want to just notice what's happening, come back, count the breath. All right, so I'm going to ring the gong, and So let's practice this together for a few minutes. Starting to count the breath. So the mind may be wandering. I invite you to kindly bring it back, counting the breath. Emotions may arise. Allow them. Don't push them away. Don't cling to them. Simply let them be. Honor them, experience them, but don't weave a story around them. Simply give yourself the space to come back to count your breath. So as you are doing this, you may find that ideas come into your mind, plans, projects, worries, memories. Don't push them away, but also don't engage in thinking about them. So honor that. Okay, I'm thinking about my project that I have to finish at work. But then come back, counting your breath. Very nice. So now you want to come back to your space and hoping that you feel a little bit more relaxed. So I would like to read you a poem to end our class today. And just know that there will also be a recording that will just be the practice. So today I went a little bit more over some of the details, but the next time I'm going to try to keep the session under 10 minutes so that you can do a practice throughout that. So the poem that I want to read you is by a poet called Donna Falls, who is also a yoga teacher, and it is called Being Present. Breathe, relax, and feel. Take time to slow down the pace of life. Watch the rise and fall of moods, the birth and death of dreams. Feelings and sensations seem so real, yet they shift like changing clouds and flow with the high tide out to sea again. Allow it all to be, no need to grasp or push away. Present with each moment, the whole of you, body, mind, and soul, opens to receive. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a beautiful evening or day.